Hello, welcome to Go Natural English. I am your American English fluency coach, Gabby Wallace. I'm sharing something with you right now that is very special, a highlight of my career. I spoke about how to get what you want out of life, how to reach your big goals through little steps. And I delivered that information in a TEDx talk. It's been a few years, but I realized I've never shared this on the Go Natural English channel. And so I think it's worthwhile if you'll stay and have a look, have a watch, have a listen, and let me know what you think in the comments. I really, truly hope you enjoy it and feel very inspired watching it to design the life of your dreams. So this is going to be really, really great. I can't wait to hear what you think. Without further ado, let's jump in and check it out. Let's begin with a language lesson. When you hear thank you in English, your natural response is you're welcome. In Japanese, thank you is arigato. And when you hear arigato in Japanese, the response is doitashimashite. Doitashimashite. So let's try it in English first. I'm going to say thank you, and I want you to say you're welcome. So thank you. Excellent, excellent. Now, in Japanese, I'm going to say arigato, and you're going to say doitashimashite. Okay, wait. Arigato. Excellent. You now know more Japanese than I did when I moved to Japan 10 years ago. That's really important because that's where this story begins. In my early 20s, I was an idealist. I wanted to travel the world to every single country, and I wanted to single-handedly achieve world peace. Well, at my university, there was no major called Travel the World, and there was no major called World Peace. So I settled on international relations. I thought maybe I could become a diplomat or work for the United Nations. Later, I pursued my master's in teaching English as a second language. I thought even if I don't have the chance to travel to every single country, I could experience the world and travel through my international students in my classroom. My father suggested that I go to teach English in Japan. I thought, that's a good idea. I can travel, have an adventure, gain some experience, and since I didn't have any other jobs lined up, I applied. I got the interview, and I got the job offer. But I was conflicted. Even though I wanted to travel, I didn't want to leave my friends. I didn't want to leave my family, the comfortable things back home, and I didn't want to miss out on all the fun things that would surely happen in my absence. But I decided to make the choice that would probably make for a better story to tell later. So I got on the plane and I went to Japan. In spring of 2011, I was teaching in a corporate English training job. I was having a lot of fun outside of work. I was able to take advantage of opportunities I could really only do in Japan, like sign up for a talent agency and appear in a Japanese film, a commercial, and a photo shoot for a Japanese reggae artist's album cover. My first time in a kimono. Teaching was so-so. My schedule was really weird. I would teach in the morning, and then I had an empty space in the middle of my day in the afternoons, and then I would teach again in the evening. So the middle of the day felt kind of like a void, a negative space every single day. The thing is, in Japanese culture, they see negative space differently than in Western culture. Negative space, or ma, as it's called in Japanese, is not nothing. It's there on purpose, like in a traditional Japanese garden. The empty space is there for a reason. And in Japanese conversation, the space between speakers has meaning. So I started to think about how I could use this empty space in my days and give it purpose and meaning. And my thoughts went to my English learners, how I could help them. They had common challenges, and these individuals would ask me the same questions over and over again. So I thought maybe I could make something to help them, a tutorial, maybe a video that they could watch anytime. They could play it over and over. So I bought a flip camera, I brought it to work, and in my afternoons, in that empty time, I started to record. It took me 3 days to make my first 5-minute video. And it was so embarrassing to see myself on video that I didn't want to share it with anyone. But then I remembered my students, and I remembered my purpose was to help them. So I resolved to share this video with them, my first tutorial. And my plan was to attach this 5-minute video to an email to them. But then I learned that a 5-minute video is way too big to attach to an email. So I uploaded it to this little website called YouTube. I attached the link to the email, shared it with my students, and then I also shared the link on Facebook with some of my friends to get their feedback. They were really nice. They said, "Oh, good job, but you probably want to work on your editing skills and buy a microphone." I was having fun with it. I made one video after another. I was making about an average of one video a month, sporadically. Always thinking about how I could help my learners. What were those common questions that they had? How could I address those in fun, fast, 5-minute tutorials? So I made one, and then another, and then another. But I hesitated because I thought there's probably people out there thinking, who does she think she is? Who made her the expert? But I pushed past those voices. I didn't wait for permission, and I certainly didn't wait for perfection. I just kept making them, one after another, whenever I had an idea that I thought would help my students. But I noticed something happening. After a few months of doing this, my videos were getting hundreds of views. People outside my classes were watching. I started getting messages from English learners in countries like Algeria and Mozambique, Turkey and Mexico saying thank you and asking me to continue making them. So I did. And then I started getting messages from learners from China and from Brazil asking me to work with them online as their English teacher. So I did. Well, a couple years passed, and I was working a full-time job, a few part-time jobs, and I started doubting whether this was all worth it, whether I would be able to make an impact with this, whether it was worth all the time and effort I was putting into it. And so for a good 6 months, I went back and forth thinking, should I quit or should I continue? And I realized that I had no choice. I couldn't not do this anymore. My YouTube channel, my website, the growing audience, it had a life of its own. And it had become part of my life that I couldn't just leave behind. The thing is, I couldn't just continue as is. I had to ask myself in that moment, was I going to quit or was I going to go all in, 100%? And so I chose to go all in 100%. I realized I needed something else. I needed to find myself a cheerleader, so to speak. So I reached out to other online entrepreneurs, and we formed a tight community of people who support each other and guide each other, and we have a mutually beneficial relationship. So I found my cheerleaders. I also understood that I needed to learn more about online business, and I needed to ramp up my production schedule. So instead of just creating a video tutorial whenever I felt like it, sporadically, about once a month, I committed to making 3 videos per week, every single week, whether I felt like it or not. I became a YouTube partner. I created a free podcast and then got sponsorship for it. Upon demand, I created paid video courses. And because I had given so much already, I had built up a large audience of loyal English learners, and that's what really made it work. So by the end of last year, I had about 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I went all in, and by the beginning of this year, I was able to leave my job as an English professor in Tokyo and work for myself. Well, it was really growing then, and I couldn't do it myself. I hired a virtual assistant to help with communication, to help with technology, and even teachers to help me with that aspect. I've organized several face-to-face meetups with English learners around the world this year in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Tokyo, and Istanbul, and I hope to do many, many more. These are all people who know me from YouTube, and they want to meet up in person. I enjoy connecting with these people immensely and connecting them with each other too. Even when I'm at home in my living room, I can Skype, I can get online with my learners and travel with them as they call me from Germany or Brazil or Iraq, for example. The most valuable thing that's come out of all of this is creating an international community, encouraging that connection. Through these people, I've realized that we all want similar things. We want to learn, we want to live fulfilled lives, we want to help our family, our friends, our community, make an impact on the world. And I also realized that in areas of the world that lack educational opportunities, that people start to doubt their ability to do those things, to learn, to live fulfilled lives, to help each other, to make an impact. So one of the most amazing things is hearing from English learners in places like Afghanistan and Iraq telling me that the thing they want most of all is to become fluent in English so that they can clearly communicate with other people around the world. So I never imagined back in 2011 that any of this would happen. I never imagined that I would be able to work for myself and really live my dream lifestyle, traveling the world. I never imagined that I would be able to go to 18 countries this year alone because I can work from anywhere with Wi-Fi. I never imagined that my English language learning channel would have over 100,000 subscribers this year and millions of views on those videos. And I say this not to brag, but to encourage you. I would like to ask you 3 questions. Have you asked yourself these 3 questions? First of all, what is it that you want to give? I talked about how in my journey in the beginning I thought about what I could give my English learners. So what is it that you can give? Your skills, your knowledge, your expertise. What is it that you want to give to those around you in your life? 2, who is going to be your cheerleader? It was extremely important to surround myself with those people who support me, motivate me, and guide me. So, who is your cheerleader? And 3rd, are you in or are you out? If you're going to pursue your purpose, it doesn't work very well to just do it when you feel like it. You have to make that decision. Are you in or are you out? So I talk a lot about giving, and I wanted to give you all a little something today, which is that Japanese language lesson. So let's go back and review and see if you remember what we learned. When you hear arigato, you say, excellent! Hey, arigato, you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you're still here, thank you. If you would like to learn more with me at Go Natural English and join one of my premium courses to improve your English fluency and communication skills to reach your dreams in life, then head over to gonaturalenglish.com. You can join my email list there, gonaturalenglish.com/email, and learn about all of the ways you can improve your English fluency together with me and my teaching team at Go Natural English. I'll see you there.